Hi everybody, it's Rosa. I hope everybody's doing good. Morning has started. I just finished that piece. That one right there. That guy, that girl. I'm gonna call it a girl. I actually did a process video collection that I'll have my son edit for me and post later today, showing how I make that kind of artwork that's charcoal with semi-hard oil, semi-hard pastel and pencil. It's very fun to make, and I think that the biggest thing about working with charcoal is that you have to give yourself a time limit. If you don't, you will overwork yourself, overwork the piece, and you'll always be doing touch-ups, you know. And if you don't give yourself a time limit, you're gonna give yourself touch-ups. And I feel that's the same with any kind of art, like making sure that you don't overwork yourself or the art, and you stop when it's time to stop, so that you don't get too deep. Because we all have that problem of like imposter syndrome, where we feel like we're not good enough, and if our piece isn't good enough. Like, could I do more to that bath? Oh yeah, I could do a lot more. I could do a lot more. But here's the thing you need to ask yourself. Does it look like the reference image in your eyes? Yes. Okay. Check mark, yes. Okay. Check, yes. Does it have a good emotion to it that you feel connected to it in some way? Yes. Would a buyer like it if they bought it today? Yes, because it looks like the scene. Do you feel like every element is shown how you want it to be shown based on your reference image? Yes. If I show you the reference image, you're gonna be like, that doesn't even look like the thing. And it doesn't. And that's the whole point of an AI reference image. To not make it look like that, but to make it look like you. I saw a video yesterday about a woman who does realism doing abstract, and I love that lady. She's so amazing. I love her story. And she talks about how she wonders how in the future people are going to react to certain things because of how we are using AI to create more realistic items and stuff like that. Now, I'm not doing that. I'm not trying to do that. I did for 2 seconds with the pet portraits and stuff like that, but it's still impressionism. It ain't gonna be real. I can't do it. It just doesn't work with my hand or my mind or anything like that. But I do agree. I do wonder how society is gonna look back at our art and say, okay, was that an AI reference image or was that something else? And if it was, how close did they get to the reference image, or did they just not get to it at all? You know. And I picture our society almost like how you'll see someone have someone pose, right, for a picture, and like, yes, move that way, and then the person is like finished posing, and then they look at the piece and it doesn't look anything like them, and they're like, what? Or they'll say, oh, I didn't feel like drawing you, I drew dot 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 instead because like you inspired me to draw this, and they're like, okay, but I was like sitting there for all that time, you know. But it's about relaxing. I'm going to put this piece onto a couple Facebook marketplaces and see if it will sell that well. Yes, I still need to launch this guy. I did figure out a new thing, and I made the website and stuff like that. Clyde was very helpful with it. Actually, Clyde was like, why, literally when I was talking about this piece and deciding which reference image to look, it was like, you need to stop building, you need to start launching. Because I do build a lot. And I think we as artists, we love the process of making art. And me as a graphic designer in my thing, in my website making and stuff like that, I love the act of making the actual website versus sharing the website. I love that act. That's easy. It's just make it and look at it and go, oh. But it can't stop at that. I have to actually sell this, and I have to sell this, right? But the difference between the two is this: I'm gonna just post pictures on some local groups, right? This guy, he requires his own ad campaign, and that makes me nervous because there's going to be a cost of acquisition for each sale, and that gets expensive and that gets scary. So it's not just like easy peasy lemon squeezy, you know, it's not push button and stuff. Plus, I don't feel ready to promote him yet because I feel like the branding still needs to be edited before I put ads out. Like, I don't want. Plus, I have to edit the HTML files, and those take a while to get rid of the big chunk of that's inside the files. But like, I'm not 100% ready to I don't even know what the word is, to let everything out. Like, I want to have the main core social medias finished so that I can do that, right? And it's funny because when I was making this bass one of the reference images that I had is more so like him, where it's really colorful and beautiful. But in Arkansas, I highly doubt that will sell. I really don't think that would sell. And when I was comparing the two against with ChatGPT and Gemini, it also said the same thing. And it was like, yes, the other colorful, beautiful one will be scroll stopping, but will it sell? Probably not. But this one can. This one can. And I could easily put on the listing, which I think I probably will, is made to order, so that it's not like I'm selling that one piece. I can make more if you want it. And that's the benefit, like I said, of reference images from AI. Because now, if I say, you know what, I'm going to make this to order, and if you want one, contact me. So there's no limit to how many I can sell. And it'll still be an original piece. You're not getting a print. You're just getting one that's made to order. And that kind of justifies the price. So we will see how this goes. We're going to cross our fingers, right, y'all? Like, we're going to cross our fingers that something happens that's great for me, because selling art is a struggle currently. And it's exhausting how much the struggle is, you know, because eBay has lulls, and then I'm launching stuff that's not selling and stuff like that. And it's frustrating because I have a feeling in my face, guy, I think he'll sell. I really do. But I'm scared at the same time. I think that fear is justified, you know. And I'm just as scared as this guy, you know, this girl, we're going to say. But at the same time, I'm more so like, this might connect with my state locally. And this, I hope, reaches the buyer that I intend on it reaching. We're going to see. I need to keep moving forward and keep doing it. There's some words of encouragement for everybody. I think the biggest thing we all have to know is that we can do this. It's just a matter of just doing it. And that's encouraging for me and myself as well, because I did this in about 2 hours maximum, maybe 1:45. I only timed myself on the underlayer, not the whole thing. So it wasn't too much time. Like I said, time yourself with those kind of things that you can nitpick and you can get really, really picky on. We don't want that because it gets exhausting. You gotta time yourself, or else you go crazy and buck out and you try to exactly match the image. Anyways, we can all do it, but we have to take the leap and do it and share it. And that's the scariest part. I get it. I'm scared right now. I am so scared to take pictures. I already take pictures, but to make pretty pictures, you know, of this piece on my wall, and to share it to my neighbors and to see if they want to buy it or not. And if they do, is it for real, or are they just going to scam me? You know, that's a big fear. You know what I mean? Or am I going to get muddied by all the cars for sale and power washers and lawnmowers and stuff? Or am I going to be like unseen? Like, that was that picture. Ha ha ha. But that's the plan. I'm going to post, I think they can post 2 times on each listing, on each group that I joined. And then I might post on Nextdoor. I really think it's a nice piece because, I mean, it's a great thing for Father's Day. Father's Day is around the corner. This is great. I mean, I might say that framing's included. I don't know. Depends on how I feel. I would do like a simple frame, or who knows. I think a frame would help a lot of people instead of just a paper. But we'll see what happens. I am hoping my plan works. I have another charcoal reference image I could do as well if I really wanted to. But we'll see how everything goes. Either way, we can't just make, we gotta do. So remember that. You know, I have to remind myself that I can't just make everything. I have to do it too. And I can't just make it. I have to do the actual branding and do the actual sharing it with other people beyond just in my home. I have to actually share it. That was the thing about eBay. It was literally just post and run away. You know, but I can't do that. I have to actually let people see it. You know, it can't just be posted and run away and hope something happens. Because right now, nothing's happening on eBay. So, we're going to see what happens. It's a pretty piece. I love it. I like it. I like it. I'm not going to show you the reference image because you're going to be like, no, it does not look like it. Because it's mine. And that's the whole point of a reference image. Right? Okay, guys. Have a good day. See you later.